Kirk Cousins has announced that he will not waive his no-trade clause for anybody, and that he will be finishing out the year in Minnesota, which I kind of call a little bit of bullshit on, but we'll see. You guys tell us, we'll start with that. You guys tell us, head to the comment section, tell us what you think. Is that a good idea for Kirk? Is it a bad idea? Would you do that? Tell us what you think about it. But right now, we're going to dive into it. You start touching on it a little bit earlier, but do you think this is the right move by Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I mean, long term, I guess it's kind of whatever. It's kind of tough to answer because like go into a team. We all know he's leaving the Vikings after this season. I think that's kind of safe to say. I can't say for sure, but probably a 65% chance. Would it be beneficial for him to get traded to a team that will end up signing him to maybe a 2 to 3 year deal, getting his feet wet with the offense now, so then like next year you can kind of hit the ground running? Yes, but this isn't Madden. I mean, the likelihood of that happening probably slim. I guess it all depends where his mind is at, right? If he wants to finish out the season with the Vikings just because he's loyal to the team and whatnot, sure. If he want to get a head start for next year and go, ring chasing, and since he's kind of in the back half of his career now, I don't know how many more seasons he'll play. Just would want to get a head start with this new team and get the like I said, get the guy on the ground and start running for next season. I can see the pros of that too. I'll leave it at that. I see why he doesn't want to get traded, but I can see the pros of why he would want to. What are your thoughts on it?
So I just want to clarify. So your thoughts are he's making the right decision by not waiving the trade clause and staying in Minnesota, correct?
That's what I'm kind of like. Yes, because in my mind, it's kind of like indifferent. The Viking season is kind of over. Whatever team trades for him, more than likely their season's also over too. So kind of like, so you could get traded now, right, and get a head start with your new team. So the next year, you guys can go boom, full throttle. You would have a whole half of a season plus an off season. You gotta get things underway and learn that system. Are you going to win games this year if you get traded? No, because you're still going to be traded to a team that's also playing poorly. So it's kind of like whatever in my own mind.
So, okay, we got that one. So I am going to, in a way, I know you're indifferent about it, but I am going to disagree with a lot of the sentiment of what you're saying, because this is how I think about it. If I'm an NFL GM, and again, obviously Kirk Cousins is going to know his market better than I ever will, and his agent's going to know his market better than I ever will. But if I was an NFL GM, I would not touch Kirk Cousins with a 10-foot pole. And it's not because I don't think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I do think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. But what has he done in the entirety of his career? He's never won. He can't win big games is the stigma to him. It's the thing that's attached. He can't win them. He can't win primetime games. He can't win big games. He just can't do it. And he's going to be 36 next year. And I know we've kind of talked off camera about maybe Atlanta, maybe here, maybe New England. But why? Why would you pay him any money at all? He's going to want another big contract for a guy that clearly doesn't move the needle. He's been in Minnesota since 2018. And we got some comments about this, about, battle line, no weapons, whatever. The defense sucks. But when he got there in 2018, that was not the case for Minnesota. They had just reached the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. They had Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph on the offense. They had a decent O-line. Their defense was stacked with Harrison Smith and Eric Kendricks, and I think Danielle Hunter was still there. Zadarius Smith, I think, was still there, if I'm remembering those correctly. They may not have been. But the general consensus is they had a great team, and that Kirk Cousins coming in was going to get them over the top, and hey, the Vikings can win a Super Bowl. And he ended up getting them to the playoffs twice in 5 years. And he only won one playoff game the entire time he's there. So again, if I'm a team, if I'm the Falcons, if I'm the Patriots, why would I ever give Kirk Cousins that money? Because he's not worth it. He clearly isn't a guy that moves the needle. So I think Kirk Cousins should do the trade, should make a trade. Again, to me, I know we've made a video about this, and I stand by it still. To the Jets, Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. Okay, and what if he does? He's played 1 minute and 30 seconds with this team. You're going to throw that into a playoff situation? You're going to try to learn the chemistry of everything on the fly? There's no way in hell. There's no way he's coming back this year. At least if you bring Kirk Cousins in, and I reference it to the Jimmy Garoppolo situation in 2017 when he was traded to the Niners. He went to San Francisco, and it took about, I think, 3 weeks, and Kyle Shanahan has the most extensive playbook in the NFL, and it's a guy that had really never been a starter. Went there, learned it for 3 weeks, took over, and they ended up winning 5 straight games, finishing the season 6-10. Same thing with the Jets. As long as they can stay relevant right now. If he gets there, it takes 2 weeks to learn it because it's a system he's played in before. He's been in the league long enough. He can get the verbiage down pretty quick. They could rack off a bunch of wins and still make it in as a wild card team. Again, now that solidifies Kirk Cousins' reputation, or I'm sorry, not solidifies, it changes his reputation of, hey, this is a guy that can win games. This is a guy that can get you to the playoffs and take it deep. It now would give me as a GM a reason to pay Kirk Cousins. Hey, look what he did with New York last year. This guy's clearly got it. And, I was wrong about him before. Let me get him in the building now. Let me pay him what he wants now. But as of right now, why the fuck would I ever pay Kirk Cousins anything? I mean,
true.
He has no success to show.
So you believe a GM of a team would not touch him, but it would benefit Kirk to get traded. So like from Kirk's point of view, he should want to be traded, but then there might not be any demand for him.
So I'm saying right now there would be demand. I think the Jets, they've checked in, they have a demand. I think if Kirk stays the season in Minnesota and reaches free agency, I wouldn't touch him with the 10-foot pole.
So he would be more of like a bridge player then to that point. Like a team, kind of like how the Bears signed, what was his name? Mike Glennon when they drafted Mitch, just to kind of be like the bridge player until Mitch was ready to play back in 2017.
Like that, the Jimmy Garoppolo deal. Hey, it's something where we can look like we're competitive for a year while we, have this rookie learn the playbook. Yeah. That's the only thing I would touch Kirk Cousins with at that point. Because again, what has he done? And so at the time, I think under the initial comment or initial report out of Ian Rappaport, I kind of mentioned, I was like, it's very sad to see, but it clearly shows where Kirk Cousins' priorities lie. And I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I think that's very true. I think if you look at Kirk Cousins' career, it's never been about wins. He doesn't care about that kind of stuff. And cares enough to be competitive and play football, but he's not a Tom Brady driven for championships. He wants the biggest paycheck he can get. That's why he's stayed in Washington as long as he did. That's why he didn't go. He went to Minnesota because they were offering him a fully guaranteed contract. That's why he stayed in Minnesota for a second contract, even though they had no success. That's why he's not waiving his no trade clause. He wants to get as much. It's about the money for him. This is a job. He's happy to do it. He likes doing it, but it's a job. And I don't think there's anything wrong, but I think to me, that reflects in a way of I would never touch it. Like what? I would again. I just keep saying that, but it's just mind-boggling to me. Like if I'm his agent, I'm calling him right now. I'll be like, Kirk, you're going to accept a trade, and you're going to waive that no trade clause because you have no market. Yeah, like you're not going to get a fully guaranteed $40 million a year contract if you hit free agency right now. You're 36. Yeah, you've never won a playoff game. Why would again? Think about it. I can't think of a situation you can just plug and play Kirk Cousins in and he'd be better, come next season. Because next season you have this draft that has 13 great quarterback prospects and it's the deepest quarterback draft of all time and this and that. Again, why would any team, if you need a quarterback, why would you risk paying Kirk Cousins when you can get a Sam Hartman in the 4th round? Yeah. 10 years younger, probably just about as good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I would just add more on, but I know we're kind of at time here. And I feel like this would be an ongoing conversation about Kirk Cousins. I'm sure this won't be the only time we kind of just talk about this, because what if on the flip side he goes off in a tear the rest of the season, which was whatever odds might be stacked against him, right? Because Jefferson's now out and whatever. But what if he just the Vikings go on a little run here and end up, I don't know, maybe 500 this year, a 9-8 record or whatever, right? Then we'll be having a talk. Does that change the perception around Cousins? Could think tying up to a 2-year, 3-year deal, but I know that we're at time. But I'm sure the Viking fans hopefully will have a lot of thoughts on this. And please comment too. Like if you're like, no, you guys are stupid. Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in the league. Tell us.
Yeah.
You know?
I just want to quickly address what you said, just in a very short sentence. He can go on a tear. He can throw for 6,000 yards this year. I wouldn't care. I would still wouldn't touch him.
You just fucking hate him, huh? You hate his like his fashion. You hate his like. You probably didn't want to see him on that Netflix show. No, I'm kidding.
I like his style. I think he's a very nice man. He clearly is a great husband, a great father, a great teammate. It's not anything against a Kirk. It's just about you're not winning the big games, and that's what the NFL is about. It's about winning the big games. So why would I?
That's fair.
Yeah, but again, we can divulge into that more, and as the season goes on and something changes, it's a great topic to revisit. Again, I think Kirk is a great person. He seems like a very nice dude. But yeah, you guys tell us what you think. Should Kirk do a trade, or is he making the right decision to stay in Minnesota for the year and then find a new place in the offseason? But let us know. Go to the comment section. Give us a like because we obviously bust our butt here with what we're doing, and we like to think we're funny sometimes and entertain people. Hit the subscribe button. Sometimes we piss them off, but it happens. Hit the subscribe button. We do this every week with segments coming out twice a week. But until next time, you guys can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. But I've been Emmett. This has been B. We will see you guys next time.